Question 1. Please tell us about yourself. I am Joseph Mutana Abuga, a Kenyan citizen at 9 years of age. I hold a master's degree in pure mathematics from Kenyatta University. I also hold a bachelor's degree in education science with a mathematics major from the same university. I'm currently on with my PhD at Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology, pursuing pure mathematics. My interests are exploration and traveling. I like swimming. I like making friends and also volunteering. Question number 2 is, what motivated you to become a teacher for the subject for which you are applying for? Ever since my youthful years, I have had a passion for mathematics, and I felt that it's good that I can share this mathematics experience and the love of it with the rest of the learners and the rest of the world. I also like the challenges that mathematics poses to us, especially the applicability of mathematics, which is always done on daily basis and all over the world. Question number 3 is to tell us about your involvement in extracurricular activities that you could coach or supervise. I have been involved in the training and coaching of volleyball up to the district level. I have undergone through trainings and I can equally supervise learners on the training of volleyball. I can supervise them. I can also help the learners to form mathematics club organizations and also help the learners on career guidance. I've been involved before to help learners on developing their careers. I can help in the same. I can also help the learners do community service. Question number 4 is, what subjects have you taught and at what age levels? I have taught both chemistry and mathematics at high school, where the age bracket for our learners is between 12 years and 18 years. I have also taught mathematics at the university at some point, where we have learners aging between the age of 19 and 26. Question number 5 is, how do you prepare to teach your lessons and what do your lesson plans include? First, as you prepare to go and teach, you look at the syllabus or the curriculum so that you can know what content you are going to teach. This one gives us the topic or the strand. It gives me the subtopic and the substrand. It gives me what are the methods of teaching are going to be, so that as you plan, you know this is the kind of topic I'm going to handle. You choose the appropriate method that you're going to use to teach that subject. Then what are the activities that the teacher and the learner are going to be involved in? So these ones are some of the things that you consider. Then, considering or given the topic and the subtopic that you're going to cover, you get the objectives from the syllabus. What is it that you intend your learners to achieve by the end of the lesson? Then, what are the teaching learning resources that are going to be appropriate for that given topic or subtopic? So those are some of the considerations that I look at as I prepare for my lesson. So the lesson plan includes the topic or the strand. It involves the subtopic or the substrand, the lesson objectives that I'm going to achieve by the end of the lesson, what are the teacher and the learner activities that are going to be involved during the lesson, and then what are the teaching learning resources that we are going to use, and finally the remarks, so that you can check whether by the end of the lesson you are able to achieve all that you had planned to accomplish. The next question is question number 6, which tells us to talk about 2 teaching strategies or methods that you effectively use in the classroom. In a mathematics lesson, I majorly employ the method of problem solving and reasoning, where you involve the learners in solving real-life problems. We formulate the problems with the learners, then solve them using the examples. We solve them systematically, step by step. You demonstrate an example to the learners, then by the end of the day, the learners are also able to follow the same, form the problems, and then solve the problems. Also, we involve learners on group work. Sometimes some problems or some issues that you are solving in class, or the questions that you have, or the content that you are delivering involves learners working together. For example, if you are dealing with common solids where learners have to check which are the cuboids, what are the pyramids, and the rest of the same. How do we form a cone? How do we form a sphere, and the rest? You involve the learners in group work so that they can form the same. Each one of them can do it independently. Then they bring them together, share the experiences that they have had. So majorly the two methods that I employ are problem solving and the use of group work. Then the next question is question number 7. When someone enters your classroom, describe the learning activities in which the students are engaged. Each lesson is unique, just like each topic has unique ways of tackling it. So depending on the lesson that we will be handling, someone can find my learners in class being involved in group work. Like if we are dealing with a topic on measurement, learners will be involved in the actual measurement of the dimensions. For example, the length, the circumference of the circle, the surfaces or the areas that will be calculating their area. So it will depend. Learners will be involved with the actual measurement, actual solving of problems. Like if you are dealing with a topic on longitudes and latitudes, where learners have to check, they will be looking to see which are the longitudes. It's a lesson on longitudes and latitudes, where you have the globe, you show them the longitudes, you show them the latitudes, which is the North Pole, which is the South Pole, and possibly the distances that we are going to calculate. Tell them we calculate the distances along the longitudes, along the latitudes, and so forth. So that is basically what the learners will be involved in. Each lesson will have different things depending on what it is. For example, if it's a lesson on angles of elevation and angles of depression, then the learners will be involved in viewing how do we raise the eye so that we can measure the angle of elevation. So they will be involved in the actual viewing of the top parts of either buildings or the flag posts that we have, or being on a raised place, and then checking the angle of depression. So each lesson will have unique things, but basically learners will be involved on a hands-on activity in each lesson. Then the next question is, what methods do you use to evaluate your students' progress? I use both summative and formative methods of assessment, with an emphasis on summative method, where we give the learners maybe the cards, we give them random assessment tests, we give them midterm exams, and by the end of the term we also give them an exam so that we can check whether they have gained all that we were aiming at achieving. So those are the major methods that I normally use to evaluate. The next question, number 9, if you use technology in your teaching, describe how you incorporate it into your teaching. Describe any experiences you have with a smartboard. I want to say that I have some experience of teaching with technology. First of all, I prepare some of my lessons using a laptop, put them either on a flash so that we can project the content for the learners in class, or sometimes we can post the assignments that we have made on maybe email. Then the learners can go through the assignment and give it back. In fact, these days, in most cases, our learners report into the system online. They clock in and then clock out. So we use also WhatsApp group to form our classes. Sometimes we inform the learners that our class starts at this time and it's ending at this time. With the smart board, I want to say that in some of the workshops that I have attended and the seminars, I have my content put in a flash, then you display it using a smartboard. So I have had to use a smartboard, especially on the display and presentation of some work in some given conference. The next question is number 10. If you have students who are noisy and unattentive, share ways you regain their attention without interrupting the lesson. First, I want to say that when you have noisy and unattentive learners in your class, that is another category of the learners that you need to take care of. One of the ways that you can take care of those learners is by engaging them, and you can engage them on hands-on activities where you give them some models either to manipulate, where they can be involved in some measurements, in some class activities, like if you are maybe doing the weights and you are measuring maybe the weights of people, they can be among the first lot to come and do or measure their weights. Then you can also put them in groups, and not groups of those who are noisy only or the non-attentive. You can mix them so that if you have one noisy student, he or she is engaged with the other group, and in that group now the learner will not make noise for them because they will be engaged in a group discussion. So those are some of the ways that you can look at them. Also, you can give them even more work. If you give these learners more work, they cannot finish early so that they can start making noise. You can make them engaged by giving them more work in class. Those are some of the ways that you can engage the noisy and the non-attentive learners in class. The next question is question number 11, which asks, describe the most difficult problem you have had to deal with as a teacher, and how did you resolve this problem? As head of department of mathematics in my school, I want to say that I've had not only one problem but a few other challenges. One of them is all the students who are in the school are under you in mathematics. Any problem that occurs in mathematics, especially when learners do not pass well in their grades in mathematics, it is the head of department that presents the report both to the parents and the staff. So that has been one of the major challenges that I've gone through whenever students have not performed as expected in mathematics. One of the ways that I have used so that I can remove the problem is, as head of department, gone ahead to create extra hours for those learners who seem to have performed not to the expectation in mathematics. I normally meet with them during extra hours, take them slowly through the challenges that they have. Then by the end of the day, I put all of them together. We have small group discussions. Then they are able to come out of the challenges that they have had. Secondly, we have created a maths hour in the school so that it can help solve the challenges that the learners have, especially in mathematics. During this maths hour, students are supposed to do the calculations on their own. They do practice on their own with the supervision of the head of department. I normally supervise this work myself. I go through all the streams to check that each learner is doing and solving problems in mathematics, though it is time that is meant for teachers to relax and be in the staff room or take their lunch. But I take it upon myself to move through all the classes and supervise the maths hour. And I have seen the results come out good out of this. The learners by the end of the day are able to improve. They're able to see that mathematics is easy. They interact with it regularly and they have improved their performance. The last question is, give an example to show that you are a flexible person and that you can make changes to your teaching and methods. As I have said, initially we used to do a lot of things in the manual way, where we had to take a pen and a book and do the writings, solve the problems of the board using the chalkboard and the blackboard. We moved later into a whiteboard, and now these days you cannot work without technology. We have moved also ahead. Currently, I'm able to do my work using a laptop. I'm able to do a presentation of a lesson using a projector where we can interact with the learners by projecting the calculations that they can see on the board. So I can say that I'm a flexible person to learn, as I have already told you that I'm able to change my time schedules depending on how maybe the learners have gone or how they are performing. Like if you have those low or below average learners, you can take your time with them, move slowly with them at your extra hours. I'm able to change my methods of teaching. from even the one of classroom alone into extra coaching on our learners so that we can help them improve. So I want to say that I have changed both in the methods of teaching and also the way we can help create more time to help our learners.